The trees stood tall and cold around Hertha. Wind moved slowly, like it was afraid. She hung in an iron cage tied to a thick branch. The chain creaked with each weak movement she made. Her green skin was pale and bruised. Her long dark hair covered part of her face. She looked like a painting someone tried to destroy, stopped walking and forgot to breathe. Every story I knew said orcs were monsters. Very story said they killed humans without mercy. But this one did not look like a killer. She looked tired, she looked hurt, she looked alone. Her golden eyes opened and found mine. She did not snarl, she did not threaten, she just watched me. Felt something twist inside my chest. Fear was there, but something else was there too. Something stronger. I stepped closer to the cage. She followed my movement with her eyes. Her lips moved, but no sound came. She was too weak. The cage was locked with heavy iron. Someone wanted her helpless, someone wanted her broken. My hand rested on the cold metal. My mind told me to leave. My mind told me to survive, but my heart refused. I climbed the tree, slewed a bark, cut my hands, but I did not stop. I reached the chain and lowered the cage, hit the ground with a dull shake. She flinched but did not resist. I found a rock and hit the lock. Again and again the sound echoed through the trees. Finally the lock broke, the door opened. She fell forward. I caught her before she hit the dirt. She was light to light. Her hand grabbed my shirt. Her voice was a dry whisper. Why I did not know how to answer. Said the only truth I had, because you needed help. She stared into my eyes like she was searching for lies. She found none. Then she lost consciousness. I carried her to my cabinet. Was small and old, but it was warm. I placed her on my bed. I cleaned her wounds with water. She woke once and tried to move. I told her to rest. She listened. Days passed. She slept and healed. Slowly I gave her food and water. She accepted, but never thanked me. Watched me constantly like she was studying a strange animal. One morning she spoke. Her voice was stronger now. She said, "You are humani." Said, "Yes." She said, "Why help?" May said, "I do not know." She did not believe that answer, but it was the only one I had. She told me her name was Arkai. Told her mine was Elias. She repeated it like it mattered. Elias. Time moved forward. She grew stronger. Each day soon she could walk. She stepped outside and looked at the forest. She breathed deeply like someone reborn. She said, "This forest is dangerous." I said, "I know." She said, "You are weak." I smiled and agreed. She looked confused. She asked, "Why are you not dead?" I said, "Because I keep trying." She was silent. After that, winter came with teeth and hunger. Snow covered the land. Food became rare. One night wolves came there. Howls surrounded the cabin. My hands shook as I held my spear. Arka stood beside me, calm and still. She walked to the door. I told her to wait. She did not listen. She stepped into the snow. Wolves circled her, 5 shadows with hungry eyes. She stood tall. She roared. The sound was ancient and powerful. The wolves stopped. Fear filled them. They turned and ran. She returned inside like nothing happened. Realized then she was never weak. She had only been broken. Spring returned and the snow died, but peace did not last. One morning Arka froze. Her eyes scanned the tree. She said, "They are here." My stomach dropped. Men walked into the clearing. They wore armor and cruel smiles. One of them pointed at her. He called her property. He called her beasts. Something inside me burned. They moved to capture her. Again she stepped in front of Mesh. Told me to stay back. I refused. I held my axe with shaking hands. I was afraid, but I would not abandon her. They attacked. Steel flashed in the Sunni. Swung my axe and hit one. He screamed. I had never hurt anyone before. it changed something inside me more. Kaimai fell to the ground. Pain filled my body. Saw them trap her in nets. I saw her struggle. I saw her see Maua. Eyes met, she looked afraid, for me not for herself. That moment mattered more than anything. She screamed. The world answered. Her light exploded. Around Hertha, nets burned to ash. The men ran in terror. She stood free and glowing, beautiful and terrible. She came to me and held my head. Her hands were warm. She asked, "Why did you fight?" I said, "Because you matter." She froze. No one had told her that before. She touched my chest. Warmth filled me. Pain vanished. She said, "I am not just an orc." She said, "I am a guardian." She said, "I protect this world." She said, "I allowed myself to be captured." She wanted to see the truth of humans. She wanted to see if humans deserved her protection. I asked her what she learned. She looked into my eyes. She said, "I learned that one human chose kindness over fear." She said that was enough. She stayed with me after that, not as a prisoner, not as a guest, but as family. We built a better home. Together we hunted, together we lived together. Travelers came through the forests. Some were lost, some were hurt. She helped them all. She never asked for reward. She never asked for praise. She protected them because she chose. 2 years passed like falling leaves. Night we sat under the stars. Asked her if she ever regretted staying. She smiled softly. She said no. She said, "You showed me something powerful." I asked what. She placed her hand over mine. She said, "Humans are fragile. Humans are afraid. Humans are flawed. Humans can choose." She said that choice is stronger than any magic, stronger than any swords, stronger than any destiny. I laughed and said, "I am not strong." She said, "You freed me when you had every reason not to." She said that with strengths I never saw myself. As a hero, I was just a trapper, just a man trying to survive. But to her, I was something. Moran to me, she was everything. The forest changed over time. People built roads, nearby villages. Grout children laughed. Where silence once ruled, they never knew about the guardian watching them. They never knew about the cage. They never knew how close they came to losing her. But I knew. Sometimes I would wake at night and see her standing outside watching the world, protecting. E.T. would join her. We would stand together in silence. She once asked me a question. She asked, "Why did you really free me?" Thought for a long time. Then I answered. I said, "Because leaving you there felt wrong." She nodded like that was the best answer. Because sometimes changing the world begins with refusing to accept what is wrong. Not with power, not with anger, but with simple kindness. I found a beautiful orc girl caged in the forest. When I set her free, I discovered the truth. She was never the one who needed saving. I wasn't. Through saving her, humanity proved it was worth saving. To asterisk.